Hello, myself Subhajyoti Mahato, lecturer in Computer Science and Technology. I am from Raja Ranjit Kishore Government Polytechnic. Today I will explain some part of Basic of C, which is a unit of the subject that is programming in C. In this lecture I will cover the following topics: C character set, tokens, data types, variables. C has its own vocabulary. That means C has its own character set. A character set defines the valid characters that can be used in source programs or interpreted when a program is running. A program is a set of instructions that, when executed, generate an output. The data that is processed by a program consists of various character symbols. The output generated is also a combination of characters and symbol. The character in C are grouped into two categories: source character set, another one is execution character set. The source character set is the set of character available for the source text, and the execution character set is the set of characters available when executing a program. Source character set can be divided into four categories. These are alphabets, for example capital A to capital Z and small a to small z. Digits, for example 0 to 9. Special characters like dollar, percentage, ampersand, asterisk symbol, opening first bracket, closing first bracket, curly braces, angular symbols, divided symbol, plus symbol, etc. And another last kind of source character set is the white space. Execution character set. Examples of the execution character set are new line character, that is represented by the backslash n, backspace, that's represented by the symbol backslash b, carriage return, that is represented by the symbol of backslash r, null character can be represented by backslash 0, bip bell tone can be represented by backslash a, etc. Now token. Token is the smallest part of program. A token is the smallest element of a program that is meaningful to the compiler. Token can be classified as follows: keyword, identifier, constant, string, operator, special symbols. Keyword. Keywords are predefined or reserved words in a programming language. Each word is meant to perform a specific function in a program. C language supports 32 keywords, which are int, void, for, char, float, etc. Now come to identifier. An identifier is a sequence of letter and digits but must start with a letter. Identifiers are used to name a variable, function, etc. For example, sum underscore ab, x1, these are the example of the identifier. Constant is a quantity that remains unchanged during the execution of a program. For example, 2, 55, 4.5, a character A. So these are the constant. String is nothing but a set of characters. Here RRKGP, so this can be considered as string because it is basically the collection of character. Now come operator. Operators are symbols that triggers an action when applied to C variable and other objects. The data item on which the operator acts upon called operands. For example, plus, minus, etc. And there is also some special symbols are there, opening third bracket, closing third bracket, semicolon, comma, etc. Now data type. Data type specify how enter the data into the program and what type of data that is. C language has some predefined set of data type to handle various kind of data that we can use in program. These data types have the different storage capacity. So we can divide the data type mainly in three categories. First one is the built-in data type, second one is the derived data type, and third one is the user-defined data type. Now built-in data type are those data type whose size is already defined into the compiler. So when we use that particular data type for allocating the memory, so the size is already specified. And the built-in data type examples are int, char, float, double, void, etc. There is another kind of data type that is derived data type. The example of derived data types are array, pointer, function. And finally, user-defined data type, that is the structure, union, etc. Now, built-in data types are int, char, float, double, what I have already mentioned. Now, the size of those data types are already defined. Now, the size of the built-in data type char is basically 1 byte, int 2 byte, float 4 byte, double 8 byte. Now variable. Variable is a named location in a memory where a program can manipulate the data. A variable is nothing but a name given to a storage area that programs can manipulate. When we want to store any information on computer or laptop, we store it in the computer's memory space. Instead of remembering the complex address of that memory space where we have stored our data, our operating system provides us with the option to create folders, name them, so that it becomes easier for us to find it and access it. Similarly, in C language, when we want to use some data value in our program, we can store it in a memory space and name the memory space so that it becomes easier to access. Variable is the name of memory location. Unlike constant, variable are changeable. So the value of the C variable may get changed in the program. We can change the value of a variable during the execution of a program. A programmer can choose a meaningful variable name. Each variable in C has a specific type. The C variable might be belonging to any of the data type like int, float, char, etc., which determines the size and layout of the variable's memory, the range of values that can be stored within that memory, and the set of operations that can be applied to the variable. Naming of the variable. There are some rules for naming the variable. Variable name must not start with a digit. Variable name can consist of alphabet, digits, and special symbol like underscore. Blank or spaces are not allowed in variable name. Keyword are not allowed as variable name. Upper and lower case names are treated as different as C is case sensitive. For example, int rrk comma sum underscore 2. Here rrk and sum underscore 2, these are the two variable name, and the data type of those variable is int. Now variable declaration. Declaration of a variable is for informing to the compiler with the information like name of the variable, type of value it holds, and initial value if any it takes. That is, declaration gives details about the properties of a variable. Declaration of variable must be done before they are used in the program. It tells the compiler what the variable name is. It specifies what type of data the variable will hold. Until the variable is defined, the compiler does not have to worry about allocating memory space to the variable. Declaration is more like informing the compiler that there exists a variable with a data type which is used in the program. Variable definition is the variable gets where the variable gets stored. That is, memory for the variable is allocated during the definition of the variable. A variable definition tells the compiler where and how much storage to create for the variable. Mean the compiler now assign a storage to the variable because it will be used in the program. A variable declaration provides assurance to the compiler that there exists a variable with the given type and name, so that compiler can proceed for further compilation without requiring the complete details about the variable. A variable definition has its meaning at the time of compilation only. The compiler needs actual variable definition at the time of linking the program. The variable declaration is useful when we are using multiple files and we define our variable in one of the files which will be available at the time of linking of the program. We will use the keyword extern to declare a variable at any place. Though we can declare a variable multiple times in our C program, it can be defined only once in a file, a function, or a block of code. In C language, we can declare a variable by using the keyword extern. Here, for example, extern int a, this is a variable declaration. Here variable name is a and the type of that variable is int. Now variable definition, for example, here we are mentioning int a. So here when compiler execute this statement, compiler allocate the memory space for that variable. As the type of that variable is int, so compiler allocate 2 bytes of memory space. Variable initialization. Here the statement a equal to 10, this statement is known as the variable initialization, because the variable is name of the variable is a and the type of the variable is int, so we can assign an integer value within that variable. Here 10 is the constant value in constant integer value and we are assigning that value to the a, so this statement is known as the variable initialization. Now another example is the int b equal to 5. So here we are defining the variable and initializing the variable in a single statement. So it is also possible in C. These are the some reference or resource what I follow. These are some questions for assignments.